Breakfast and brilliant ideas, coffee and conversation, we're serving up that and much more at IBJ Media's events. Join us at an upcoming event and kickstart your day with fresh ideas and new connections. Check out our event lineup and register now at ibj.com/RSVP.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the morning of Friday, February 27th, 2026. I'm Alex Braun. The Allen County Fort Wayne Capital Improvement Board on Thursday approved up to $1.5 million to support the development of the North River District Mixed-Use Project at the former OmniSource Metal Recycling Plant north of downtown Fort Wayne. A portion of the funding will cover an initial payment to Kansas City-based Price Brothers Development as part of a proposed professional services agreement. The city's Redevelopment Commission will vote next month on the agreement, at which point the firm will begin the master planning process. The North River District will include the $60 million North River Fieldhouse, as well as a mix of residential and commercial space. Indiana Governor Mike Braun on Thursday signed legislation to build a publicly funded football stadium for the Chicago Bears in Hammond within hours of the bill's passage. The Indiana Senate voted 45-4 to approve final changes to Senate Bill 27, which allows for $1 billion in public bonds to pay for the construction of an NFL stadium near Wolf Lake, just a few minutes from the Indiana-Illinois border. Meanwhile, the Chicago Bears cleared an early hurdle in the Illinois legislature on Thursday, advancing long-sought stadium legislation out of committee, but the path to a deal remains uncertain. The bill's author, Cam Buckner of Chicago, told reporters after the vote he would not support the bill in the Illinois House unless additional concessions and financial commitments from the Bears are made to Chicago. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Hello and welcome to Inside Indiana Business. I'm Gary Dick, coming to you this week from Northwest Indiana, Jeffersonville, Muncie, South Bend, in downtown Evansville, Terre Haute, Fort Wayne, Richmond, from one of the state's key entrepreneurial and innovation hubs, 16 Tech. Inside Indiana Business, Indiana's business news leader.
Another national news report has identified Indiana as a possible site for a U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement detention facility, this time in the state capital. IIB's Aubriana Herron has more.
Indianapolis was named on a list of potential sites where ICE is considering buying a warehouse to house its immigrant detainees, according to U.S. Department of Homeland Security internal documents obtained by the New York Times. The Times reported last week that ICE had proposed purchasing a facility in the city that would be able to hold 8,500 beds. The report did not specify where the warehouse might be located. While it remains unclear whether the agency plans to pursue a facility in Indianapolis, area officials are pushing back. U.S. Representative Andre Carson, who represents Indiana's 7th Congressional District, which includes Indianapolis, wrote on social media that he was against ICE's potential involvement in the city, saying the agency is not welcome. City officials also said they have yet to hear from the feds. A spokesperson for Mayor Joe Hogsett's office told the Indiana Lawyer in a written statement Thursday that the city had no knowledge of this potential purchase and, quote, "We do not welcome or support this in our community," end quote. It's not the first time the federal government has looked to Indiana for help with its immigration enforcement activities. The Miami Correctional Facility in Bunker Hill, Indiana, is set to house up to 1,000 immigrant detainees after state officials approved $16 million for facility upgrades last fall. Aubriana Herron, Inside Indiana Business Radio.
A manufacturing talent marketplace is partnering with economic development officials in Elkhart County to support hiring and retention efforts in the county's manufacturing sector. Elkhart-based Slate Up this week announced a strategic partnership with the Elkhart County Economic Development Department aimed at accelerating hiring, improving retention, and expanding career mobility across the region. Slate Up said the platform validates roles directly with employers, maps advancement pathways, and matches candidates based on readiness and long-term fit rather than resumes alone. Check out the latest episodes of the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. Available now on the IBJ Media app or your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Braun for Inside Indiana Business Radio On Demand. Stay ahead with Inside Indiana Business Radio On Demand, your go-to source for the latest business news across the Hoosier State. Join hosts Gary Dick and Alex Braun every weekday morning and afternoon for concise updates on Indiana's top business stories. Subscribe now on your favorite podcast app or listen at ibjpodcasts.com.
Do you want to know what really drives change in Indiana? You won't find it in sound bites, you'll find it in stories. Stories from CEOs, lawyers, coaches, entrepreneurs, and community advocates. That's the IBJ Media Podcast Network. Insightful, local, impactful. Find all of our shows by searching IBJ Media in your podcast app or visit ibjpodcast.com.